Good morning, everyone. It's Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Everyone's doing fine. Everyone's having a great day so far. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Before I start, please don't forget to smash a like on the video and, you know what, subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate that. Now, look, you know what? There's never a day that goes by that there isn't some form of bad news for Manchester United. And this time, it's, of course, in the form of Ineos, however you want to say it, the Glazers and Ineos are making more cutbacks. This time, they don't want to pay for tickets and for 30 members of staff. Whereas Tottenham Hotspur are paying for all their members of staff to go to Bilbao for the final of the Europa League next week. Now, this is typical of Ineos, saving a few pennies, saving a few thousand. It has taken Ruben Amorim's initiative to pay for these members of staff to go to Bilbao, which for me is an absolute disgrace. What absolute cretins we are owned by. Absolutely useless bunch of penny pinching. I don't want to say the word. It will get me banned. But to be honest with you, I'm tired of them. I'm tired of them. They need to leave this football club. Leave us alone. Go away. Leave us. We don't want you at the football club. You cannot afford this football club. You don't need to be near this football club. You greedy pharmaceutical loving prats. That's what you are. All of you. These Glazers, these Ineos, and anyone who sympathizes with these Muppets can, you know, honest to God, they can get out of here, to be honest, and get out of this football club, because these Muppets are going to destroy this football club. They're not interested in this football club. They're not interested in taking this football club forward. They're not interested about the staff. They don't care about the workers. They just want to make cutbacks. Again, it's the poor that suffer. The poor that suffer. How about this? You want to get, this is your excuse, right? You want to get real fans to go to the final in Bilbao, right? Oh, well, yeah, of course you do, mate. Of course, so let's get your ticket and give it to someone else then, shall we? Because you're not a real fan, Jim Ratcliffe. You're not a real fan of Man United. Show me evidence that you're a real fan of Man United. I would love to see the evidence that you're a real fan of Manchester United, because you are not a real fan of Man United. You're a blagger. You're a chancer. And I'm telling you right now, listen, you better walk out of this football club, because at the end of the day, this is going to get more and more toxic as time goes on. And you know what? When I'm hearing about, staff, saving money, FC, do you know what I mean? Making members of staff, hardworking people, mortgages and family, redundant. Then I'm hearing that they don't want to pay tickets for members of staff to go to the final. Yet you're going to be there, Jim. You're going to be there too. So why are you contradicting yourself? Save your seat for a real fan. Go on, save your seat for a real fan. Tottenham Hotspur have been classy. Tottenham Hotspur have paid for their tickets for their members of staff. And you know what? That's why they're going to progress further than us. Because look at the way we're penny pinching. Look at our ownership. They don't own the club. The fans own this football club. They don't. It's the fans that own this football club. So at the end of the day, what I'm seeing from Ineos is an absolute disgrace. We're hearing stories about Duke Ayres signing for Arsenal, Frimpong signing for Liverpool, and we're going after Liam Delap. And all respect to Liam Delap, I have nothing against the lad. And if he comes to Manchester United, I hope he succeeds. I really do. I'll be supporting him with everything. But this just typifies where Manchester United are as a football club, where we are, where we're going. It doesn't give us any hope. It doesn't fill us with any enthusiasm at all, does it? It's disgusting. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, the legend Tyborg. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good morning, guys. Amorim set to pay 30 back from staff to visit Bilbao for the final, while the club refused to do so. We don't deserve this guy. Simple as that. And some people are screaming out, Amorim out, get him out of my club. You get out of our club. That's what I would say. You don't just take anything. You get out of our club, because you people calling for Ruben Amorim's head are just as bad as the bloody Glazers. We don't want you at this football club. You either support this football club or get the hell lost. That is it at the end of the day. And for Ruben Amorim to take initiative and to do that is you know what? It's embarrassing for Ineos. But Ineos won't see that embarrassment. They won't see it. They'll just go, save some money there. Hey, result. That's what they're going to do. This is what Ineos are. This is who we're owned by. It's a disgrace. Big up, Tyborg. Kenny, Ineos out at this point. I'd sack the fan base who want Amorim sack. Absolutely. This is exactly what I'm saying, Kenny. Anyone who wants to support these guys can get out of this football club, because at the end of the day, those people who were supporting these guys because of the way they looked, can get the hell out of this football club, to be honest with you, because they're going to be the down of this football club. you know what? All they care about, the only time they pipe up is when they moan about the season tickets. That's the only thing. So they, you know what I mean? That's all they care about, the selfish needs. They don't really care about the football club. They care about being self-righteous and saying, oh, I was at the game. I got a season ticket. I'm a proper red. Mate, you know what? Do what Inter Milan do. Do what Bayern Munich do. Do what these teams do and go out there and make a flipping difference. You know what I mean? Be a bit more scary. Be a bit more, intimidating. Because we're not. We're not. And you know what? The Glazers will probably sit there and say, oh, well, F them. They're not going to do anything anyway. We're all the way in LA. We're all the way in Florida. They're not going to do anything. So just carry on, Jim. You're doing a great job. Perfect. Ephraim, good morning, my friend. How are you doing? Good morning, Sal. It's embarrassing to see the club like this. For God's sake, we are Manchester United. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Kenny, this club is ruining Amra's reputation. And for Christ's sake, as he said there, Kenny, he said he's embarrassed. I'm not surprised he's embarrassed. I would be embarrassed. He had a glowing reputation at Sporting Lisbon. His reputation was growing as day by day. He could have went to Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, PSG, any one of those clubs. He would have shone. He would have shone, and he probably might have went to Real Madrid. Who knows? There was rumors about him going to Real Madrid and stuff like that. He might have done. He might have went to another club, but he came to this club. He respected this club. He didn't want to come in the mid-season. He came in, but he did. And look what's going on here. Look what's going on here. We're linked with Liam Delap, and fair play, as I said to Liam Delap. I have nothing against Liam Delap, but we're linked with Liam Delap. And Arsenal getting Duque. So tell me, which one of those teams are going to improve? We only care about what goes on the pitch. That's all that matters. I mean, they're a bunch of liars, guys. They're a bunch of liars. They're manipulators. They have been from the start. And we warned you, Ineos Inners. We warned you that these guys, they're disgusting. If Qatar were in the football club right now, everyone would still have their bloody jobs. Everyone would have their jobs. Maybe Ten Hag won't, but everyone else would. But they wouldn't have made the mistake. They would have made that change when they needed to make that change. That's what they would have done. And we would have been in a much far better place right now, rather than every single week we're talking about cutbacks. We're talking about, families' lives being destroyed by this stupid Ineos regime, greedy, snobby, please, sir, can I have some more, sir? Regime. That's basically what it is. Oliver Twist in 2025. That is what they are, basically. They don't like rich people. You look at Jim Ratcliffe. He walks around with a grimace. He walks around like this. He got this smile that will break glass. You know what I mean? It's like you hear the creaks when he smiles. Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting, guys. Honest to God, it is a modern day Oliver Twist. What we're owned by, they're disgusting. Give more to the rich. Give more to the rich. Get rid of the poor. Get rid of the poor. That's what it is at the end of the day. It is scary. If they're scared, it will be difficult to competitive in these situations. The more time goes on, Ephraim, the more time goes on, the more that we're going to fall further behind the likes of Liverpool, the Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool. You know what I mean? We're going to fall further behind those guys. We're already way behind those guys right now. And we're going to fall way. We're going to start getting into the abyss, and that is what's going to be worrying. That's going to be the worrying thing. That's going to be the overriding thing about Manchester United. It's going to be scary, guys. It's going to get scary. And you know what? I hope there is news coming out about Qatar. I know we're clinging on to something here. I know, but you know what? I'm going to speak about it later on in Chatterbox. But one thing I would say is that we're clinging on to something here, guys. You know what I mean? And we hope that a miracle happens for Manchester United. We really do, because we deserve this miracle, and we deserve a good ownership. Absolutely. I spoke about it yesterday, Ephraim, in regards to Amram, that, you know what, he could be the first manager to walk. If Ruben Amram walks, right, he has the power to say what he wants to say, right? And if he walks, he'll be deemed a Manchester United legend if he walked. Because what if he walked, he didn't take the money, he walked. You know what I mean? So I personally feel that, Ruben Amram, if he is not backed, he could walk. And I think there is a possibility of that. We cannot completely discount that. It's absolutely true. We cannot discount that. Wouldn't you? Your reputation's been ruined. You know what I mean? It's been ruined. When he come for, everyone wanted Ruben Amram at their football club. Even Liverpool wanted Ruben Amram at their football club. Man United can have anyone managing Man United. Arne Slot, Jurgen Klopp, Ancelotti. You know what I mean? They will struggle. No one questioned why all the managers were doing great job in their other clubs and they all failed after United. Why? Exactly, Chow. And it's exactly what I've been talking about for a long, long time now. I mean, you are a representation of what you are at the top at the end of the day. You know, we are the Glazers and we got Ineos. The Glazers are a curse at this football club. Glazers are the curse. Glazers are a curse at Man United. And then we have obviously going down to Ineos, which are a further curse. Like we needed another curse. And that is what it is, you know, and it's disgusting, you know, and let's go, Slap Spurs. Kukai, is that how you spell? Is that how you say it? Big up yourself, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Love the positivity. It's nice to have some positivity in the stream. I really appreciate that. Sorry, I'm coming on here all guns blazing, guys. I know that. But you know what? I heard the story last night. I kept it inside and I'm just going to explode. You know what I mean? Because I'm tired of this. Ineos are going to make cutbacks. Ineos are not going to pay for the tickets. We're going to have a barbecue. Bring your own burgers. You know, it's like that, isn't it, at the end of the day? You know, and every single thing that comes out of this goddamn football club is Ineos negative. Ineos negative, negative, negative. We don't want these guys. We never wanted these guys in the first place. For goodness sake. Only bigots, you know, wanted these guys in the football club. Only ignorance wanted these guys in the football club. You know what I mean? Only people who live in the bloody past wanted these guys in the football club. It's unbelievable. LVG proven right once again. Liverpool about to get Frimpong and we're about to get relegation places. Embarrassing. You know what? This is what I've said, Kenny. Look, I don't mind buying Liam Delap. It's absolutely fine. But who are we going to get with the Liam Delap is the question. You can't just buy Liam Delap and expect us to move up the table. Now, ask yourself this question. If Arsenal get Gutierrez and we get Liam Delap, who's improving here? Us or them? It's them. And they're already miles ahead of us at the moment. You know, and it does make me very, very disillusioned. You know? The rumour circulating Man United at the moment is that Manchester United are in for Liam Delap. Liam Delap is in talks with Manchester United. Liam Delap's preference is Manchester United, as I mentioned in November. Manchester United's priority is Liam Delap. I mentioned this in November, guys. November. Okay, so, yeah, guys, Liam Delap is Manchester United's priority. Now, guys, you know what I mean? There you go. You know what I mean? I said it in November, not weeks ago, in November, I said it. And, you know, I said it before that as well, but I made a stream about it in November. And to be honest with you, yeah, you can look it up. And to be honest with you, how do I feel about that? I'm disillusioned by that. In regards to Cunha, there was an outlet in Brazil talking about the deal is almost done. There was reports yet last night that Manchester United have almost got the deal done for Cunha, 60 million, raising up to about 72 million, around that mark. For me, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm going to be totally frank. It's too much for Cunha. It's too much for Cunha. It's too much for a Wolverhampton Wanderers player. Let's be real, guys. And Atletico Madrid reject. Guys, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Why are we paying that much for Cunha? We get Turkey for 35. You know what I mean? At maximum. You know what I mean? Look, you know what? But Turkey, but Cunha does look the likely option that Man United will sign Cunha. As I said, whether Man United win the Europa League or not, I do believe that it's going to be in and around the Europa League time. Man United will sign Cunha maybe after the Europa League, because obviously if Man United lose the Europa League final, they have that little bit of positivity that they can feed to the masses, of course, and some people are naive, they'll fall for it. And this is what happens, isn't it, at this football club. Ephraim, he made 191 interviews. Disgusting. He's been forced to do it, Ephraim. I know for a fact he's been forced to do it from Ineos. They're getting paid. They're getting paid. Just remember this, right? You know, they're cutting back on thousands of pounds, right? Which is nothing in the grand scheme of things when you talk about the biggest football club in the world, right? They're cutting back on thousands, right? They would happily take a few grand for Ruben Amorim in interviews. Ruben, don't go and do that interview. Ruben Amorim said before the season he doesn't want to do many interviews. He said it before the season started, before he came in, shall I say, before he started his first football match against Ipswich Town. He said, I don't want to do many interviews. I've got a lot of work to do. So why is he doing a lot of interviews? We all know why he's doing a lot of interviews, because he's been told to do a lot of interviews, of course. Bless up, Arasta. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. The mainstream media seems to be minimizing Ruben's honesty during interviews. They are saying they wouldn't buy someone of what he's saying. buy into some, but they say that I don't buy into them, and this is what the thing with them. Everything they've ever said has been absolutely crap. At the end of the day, Man United needs stability. Man United needs consistency. Man United needs someone we can trust. We can't keep bowing down to the players, because we all know that those players down tool, when it comes to a chance, when they're given a clutch, they will lean on that crutch. They will lean on it, because those players will have any excuse to down tool. Maybe the players are not playing for him. Why do you think he punched walls and he's bashing TVs off the wall? Because they're not listening to him. They're not listening to him. They're not listening to his instruction. But the media won't do that. The media won't blame the players. They won't do that, because at the end of the day, the manager gets clicks. The manager gets likes. It causes controversy. You can talk about it in the overlap. You can talk about it on BBC. You can talk about wherever you want. It's going to get them clicks. They love it. Oh, yeah, you know what I really think. People who've never managed football clubs. People who've never been successful at football clubs. Yeah, calm down. Jamie Carragher, for example. Jamie Carragher, mate, you're an average footballer. You're not, as Jose Mourinho said, you're not even the top 1,000 defenders of all time. Why are you talking, mate? That's what I would say to them. They're just absolute cretins, the lot of them. And you know what? Even if Ruben Amorim wins this Europa League, they're going to be saying, "Oh, it doesn't really paper over the cracks, does it? It doesn't really paper over the cracks. He still came 17th in the league or 16th in the league." Blah 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 blah. What they're going to do. They're going to, and the Knights are out on Friday as well. We're going to play a week inside against Chelsea, because we've got the Europa League final. Tottenham are going to play a week inside as well. So, you know what? I bet you Tottenham won't get the scrutiny. Where's the scrutiny around Mr. Ange Postecoglou? We all know why, isn't it, mate? We all know why, mate. Struth, mate. He's our Australian brother, mate. That's why. That's why they won't say anything about Ange Postecoglou, because, mate, he's one of us, mate. Drink a few beers, mate. That's what it is, mate. That's why he doesn't get the scrutiny that Ruben Amorim gets. He's had a worse season. You know what I mean? It's disgrace. Man. Big up, Randy. How you doing, my friend? How you doing? Well, good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Let's all go. Let it all out. So I am streaming tonight at my end about this topic. Big up, Kenny. Big up. And worse, the mainstream media pointing out he's more responsible than the players of the season losses. It's ridiculous, man. 100% facts about Ineos, man. They are overacting plague of our football club. They just need to get out of our football club. We never wanted them in the football first place. We all know why a certain few wanted them in the first place, and we don't need to spell it out, do we? This is exactly what they are. You know what I mean? I'm tired of this, and I wish all those so-called fans would lead the football club as well. I'm tired of it. I don't care how long they've been supporting the football club. Anyone who wanted Ineos in are absolute bigots at the end of the day. Paul, good morning. I don't like Ineos much, but I think the signing they have done are really good, like Euro, Xerxes, Mazza, and De Ligt. I don't really care, mate. We came 17th, 16th this year. De Ligt was Eric Ten Hag's choice. Euro was Eric Ten Hag's choice. I know that for a fact. Xerxes was Eric Ten Hag's choice. Dutch, and Mazza, who played for Ajax, didn't he? At the end of the day, there you go. It's all Eric Ten Hag choice. I want to say that. Let's see what they do in the summer. Let's see what they do. At the moment, I'm not being filled with any positivity. If it affect the morale of the workers when you make, absolutely. I mean, imagine you're working at a workplace and you know what, you've got 6 of you to do the job, and then they take away 4 and you've got 2 of you to do one job. It's very difficult. It must be very hard. Kenny, as the price increase of Cunha, it looks like it. 70 million is a lot of money for Cunha. That's a lot of money for Cunha. He's a Wolverhampton Wanderers player. I'm going to be cruel here, but you know what? We have to be subjective and we have to be cruel to be kind. Because if we want Man United to be successful, we have to look at things from every single point of view. He's an Atletico Madrid reject, right? At the end of the day, let me just say that, right? And he's going for 70 million, you know? And then they want to sell Mainu for 50 and stuff like that. You know, it just drives me insane. United tax on Cunha, absolutely. It is too much. It's too much, bruv. It's too much. 60 million tops. I even thought 55 million was a lot, but 60 million tops for Cunha is a fair price for me. When we're trying to look at people like Mainu, people like Garnacho, who are young players, right? And we're saying, oh, we'll take 50 million for them. But you know what? Man United players and players who've reached won trophies for this football club, right? Then we're saying that, oh, but Cunha 60, 70 million. It defeats the whole bloody logic, doesn't it? At the end of the day, as he said, as Koke said, it is all about Man United tax. I would say that absolutely, Man United tax. Big up, Joe Blackman. How you doing, my bro? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Leeson, I say I hope we will be ruthless in the transfer window to get rid of the deadwood and let Amorim build his team. Yeah, I was speaking to someone, right, and I'm not going to say nothing, but I have a cousin at Man United. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about that another time. But at the end of the day, what I would say, right, guys, is that Eric Ten Hag made most of the signings this summer, and I was told that, right, and he picked those players. You know, so at the end of the day, what we're going to say, guys, you know what I mean? Now it's going to be down to Ineos and it's going to be down to Barada and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So there we go. Big up, Amir. In Amorim, we trust, absolutely. Big up. We believe in you, Sir Amorim. Sir Amorim, absolutely. Big up, big up, big up. I don't believe in Amorim. He has a lot to prove to me, to be honest. Why don't you believe in him? Why don't you believe in Amorim? Why not? What, because of his results this season? Are you not thinking about when he came in mid-season? You know, with players that are not his, with a distinctive style of play, trying to feed into IQ to these players. Like I said many, many times, Joe, you can lead a cow to the river. It doesn't mean the cow's going to drink from the river, does it? You know, maybe, just maybe give the guy a chance until next season. He's got a lot to prove, but so have those players, so have the board. Maybe we are a reflection of what's going on at the top. Maybe that is the problem at Manchester United. You know, I've been supporting this club, Joe, since you were not born, mate. And that doesn't make me better than you. It doesn't make me better than anyone else. But one thing I would say is this. You know, I've seen these scenarios over and over and over and over again. Under Sir Alex Ferguson in the late 80s to right now, where I'm sitting right now, I'm talking about Ruben Amorim. Patience is a virtue, which is why I ended up working with platinum selling artists, you know, before YouTube and that even existed. When I was out there selling CDs on the street, right? But at the end of the day, patience is a virtue. It is a virtue that is so underrated. You know, we are looking at it, right, and saying that after 5 months, you know, we're going to sack Ruben Amorim. After 5 months, you couldn't build a Tesco Metro for that time, in that time. Yet you're expecting Ruben Amorim to come into the biggest club in the world, which is broken, and fix a problem that has been going on for 13 years. Maybe, just maybe, it is the board. Maybe, just maybe, it is the Glazers. Maybe, just maybe, the negativity and toxicity which is resonating throughout the club is affecting what's going on the pitch. Because I know, as a business owner, as someone who worked in League One, right, as someone who's done things in football, I know what effect that can have around the football club, the toxicity around the football club, absolutely. Cunha, he's a top attacker. Cunha is a top attacker. We'll have to wait and see. Absolutely. I know we forget to do some. Thank you so much, Joe, by the way. Thank you very much for your comments and stuff. Really appreciate your input. Big up, Joe. Big up, Courts. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up yourselves. Hope you're good. Atalanta is increasing the risk price of Ederson. They are trying to rip us off again. We should walk away from the deal. It is a lot of money for Ederson, but Ederson I really like. They are going to rip us off. We do have Manchester United tax that does exist, unfortunately. As I said, Ederson's one of my favorite players. Obviously, Semenya as well of Bournemouth, we are being linked with over this past 24 hours. But looking at the way things are going, guys, I don't think it's realistic to say that Man United are going to sign Semenya, Cunha, and Ederson with Liam Delap. You know, at the moment, I just don't think that's going to happen. I think it'd be one of them attackers, and I think it'd be one midfielder, if we're lucky, a striker, and maybe one defender, if we're lucky. It's probably going to be something like that. You know, it's going to be like that. Big up, Grayo. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're well. Please, everyone, can you smash the like and subscribe buttons? Thank you so much, Grayo. Big up yourself. Absolutely. Big up. Absolutely. You're spitting fire, mate. The delusional fan base can't handle it. Thank you so much, Kaka. You are fire, my friend. You are fire. Thank you so much for joining me today, you legend. Absolutely good to see you here, my friend. Big up everyone who's joined me today. You're absolute all diamonds, guys. Absolutely. Big up. Listen, everyone hate us, so that's why every time it's Manchester United in the news. Mate, we cause these people, these personnel, these media outlets, these rival fans a lot of pain over the last 20, 30 years. A lot of pain over the last 20 years, you know, and this is why they hate us. I've seen a lot of success at Man United. I've seen a lot, and I like to think my opinion holds some weight, right? I've been to a lot of games. I've seen a lot of football. I've traveled around the world watching football, from FC Tokyo in Japan all the way down to Hearts of Oak in Ghana. You know what I mean? Wherever I am, I've seen football, guys. I witnessed football. I've experienced football, and I've seen football, right? I don't just spit on a stream and talk. That's it. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Part-time WWE fan. You know what I mean? I'm a proper Man United fan. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And, you know, big up my friends at WWE, by the way. Yeah, big up Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Big up Joe Hendry was on this channel, guys, by the way. Go and check out this this interview I did with Joe Hendry a few years ago. Brilliant. Big up Joe Hendry. Smashing it. Yeah, so, look, you know what? It is what it is. Amir, this club is no longer the standards. Ruben, you can do whatever. Ruben is. I mean, people are just not calm. People are just not calm. That's why they have to leverage on other people to jump to a next level, right? People are not calm on themselves. You know, what I say is this, you know, you guys just need to calm your tits. You know, you guys who go, I don't really know about Ruben Amorim. He doesn't prove to me anything. Maybe he's proved to me a lot of things, to be honest with you. He's proved to me a lot of things. You know, he's proved to me what he did with Rashford, what he did with Anthony. Rashford going home with stomach cramps. Rashford having a gambling addiction, things like that, which I reported months ago. You know, he got rid of that virus at the club, number one. You know, he's talking about, you know, next season, about the pain that we're going to suffer this season. He got rid of 25 players at Sporting Lisbon. How many has he got rid of here? We need to have a complete reset. We just need to have a little bit of patience. No manager, and I repeat to you guys, we can have Luis Enrique, we can have Nagelsmann, we can have Hansi Flick. In charge of Manchester United, it will be the goddamn same. Maybe I should draw you a picture. Should I draw you a picture? Because it will be the same thing, guys. And you will be the screwing. You'll be the same thing. You'll be the same. I'm not really sure about him, you know. I'm not really sure about him. For goodness sake, man. You know what I mean? It's mad. The legends are also a problem. They cannot be the legends, especially Paul Scholes and Gary Neville and those folk. They're you know what? They're employed by subcontractors to Sky Sports. So Sky don't like us anyway. So that is obviously a problem there. Top button. What's going on with you, legend? Hope you're doing well. I'm home back after a week hospital until unit. How you feeling, bruv? I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you, mate. I'm still having a better season than Arsenal. Bring on the final. Absolutely. I mean. Five trophies in 5 years for Man United. 0 trophies in 5 years for Arsenal. Sorry. I'm going to shoot you now. Sorry. Woolwich Arsenal. Manchester United will win the season. I hope so. Yeah, it's a flip of a coin for me. But Sal, you could say that Salah and Kane was a Chelsea Regents. Now look at them. They were not given a chance at Chelsea, mate. They weren't given a chance. Look at Arjen Robben. Was he given a chance at Chelsea? You know, they weren't given a chance at Chelsea, mate. They weren't given a chance. But anyway, they were great players, already great players. And let's talk about Salah. Salah went off to Roma to learn his trade, mate. You know what I mean? And then he came back to Liverpool, you know? So at the end of the day, look, you know, you can throw these narratives at me. I've always got an answer, Joe, you know? And to be honest with you, I just feel like these players are simply not good enough for Man United, and we need to look at the players. And maybe you might be good enough on your day. Maybe you could be like Spurs and you could beat anyone on your day. But again, you know what? You might lose to anyone on your day. But what about if these players don't want to win? What about if these players down tool? What about these players minus their game 25%? What about if they do that? Lead the cow to the river. Doesn't mean he's going to drink from the river. I think I need the picture, the drawing board out again, honestly. Big up, Joe. Maybe next season United will be better, inshallah. Inshallah. I mean, inshallah. He will win in Europe. Big up, Amir. Give me what you're taking, Amir. I really want to know what it is because it does seem like some magic beans right there. I am at the point where Amorim could do what he can. He tweaks the system for all the players and they still struggle. People may say must keep sacking managers until they get it right. What did we play under Eric Ten Hag? 4-3-3, 4-4-2? Didn't we play that under Eric Ten Hag? It didn't work. I wonder why. Yeah, I mean, is that at the end of the day? I'm giving Amorim a full season. Let the man have a pre-season. Absolutely. Now, Amorim hasn't shown me anything yet, nothing to believe in yet at all. Europa League final, mate. Unbeaten in Europe. But I'm also not saying Amorim out. I don't believe it's up. Mate, what you got to do is look at the overriding evidence over the last 13 years. And what's the overriding similarities with the last 13 years, mate? You know what I mean? Managers being sacked. That is it. If this went to the court of law, you can get the best lawyer in the world. They are not going to get those players off innocent because those players are guilty. And people may say to you that, oh, but it's a different team, Sal. It's a different team, yeah. But the culture still resonates from the top. The culture's still there from the top. The Glazers are still there. Now we got Ineos, even worse. We got a double dose of it, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? This is no coincidence that this team can go to Arsenal at the Emirates with 10 men and beat Arsenal, but they lose to Wolves. They lose to West Ham, who haven't won in 8 games. Why is that? That's not the manager. Why has the manager got scars on his hand? Because he's punching walls and that, because these players are not listening. That's a cultural problem at the football club. You can have Hansi Flick, Luis Enrique and stuff. I've seen a lot. I mean, I understand ball. I don't just watch ball like, this is ball, I kick ball in goal. I don't watch football like that, my friend. I watch football like from 3D, 2D, 4K vision. And I see it from the top as well. At the end of the day, and I see things from all angles. I look at the subjectives, the contectives, and that's it. That's what I do. I don't just look at things and say, oh, get him out, reactionary, get him out, he's not good enough. Fucking hell, give him till next season, man, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And then there's big channels, even one you're on, Joe, United View, who stick to that thing. They were sticking to, get Eric Ten Hag out. He's not showing me anything, get him out. That worked out well, didn't it? You know what I mean? It drives me mad. Let's get the manager out. First thing you blame, the manager. How about sacking Barada? How about sacking Wilcox? How about sacking Ineos? How about sacking Glazers? What about that? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's always down to the manager. Always blame the manager, blame the manager, blame the... It's a simplistic point of view. It's a simplistic point of view. It's a dum-dum. It's a dum-dum, goo-goo gaga sort of a flipping opinion. You know what I mean? Baby opinion. That's what it is. Joe's actually 62, but he looks like good for his age. Nah. In the summer, Amram, I want to City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. I guarantee you will succeed at those clubs. Yeah. Should Amram sign? A lot of players, I would say. My choice was always Edison in midfield. I would have liked Frimpong in the right wing back. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. I would have liked Jonathan Tah in the defence, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. I would also like Ignacio instead in defence if we can get him from Sporting Lisbon. I want an Osman or Gutierrez up front. Big up Jobski, by the way, but I don't think that's going to happen at the end of the day. I'm a lot older than you, Joel Blackman, and I can prove it as well. I would argue with anyone who wants to come on this channel, prove that they've been a Man United fan longer than me. Show me a shirt with you in the 1990s with a Man United top. Then I'll believe you. Absolutely. Welcome to the best club in the world. Big up, Amir. Don't take it personally. Hope we get rid of this deadly virus who has killed us beyond the club. Get rid of the source we was. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Big up, Courts. Amir, we really need Osman Gutierrez, Edison. I mean, are you a billionaire, Amir? Can you do it for us? Come on. Morning, Sal. With any job sale, there has to be a bit of happiness. And with Amram goes through every day with the media circus performance. I wouldn't blame him if he left. Me too. I would love it if he left, to be honest. And you know what I would love? I would love it if he left and we got Hansi Flick or Luis Enrique and stuff like that. And in 3 months' time, you know what? It was the wrong decision, you know. Yeah, we'll be back here. We'll be back here. Cunha and Buena, Cunha and Semenya. Cunha times and Buena or Cunha times Semenyo. Cunha times Semenyo for me, RMCF. That's my choice. Subjective, of course. We were in childhood. That's why they hate us. Absolutely, Courts. I agree. We're hurting them. I mean, in particular, some of these media personnels like Jamie Carragher and people like that, of course. You know what I mean? John Hendry and the Trick Williams segment was gold. Absolutely. Big up John Hendry, Joe Hendry, Kenny. Yeah, he was on my channel. Yeah, we've done a bit of work together, Joe Hendry. I'm glad to see him at WrestleMania against Randy Orton. I'm glad to see he's done really well for himself. Check out that interview I did a few years ago, by the way. Spoke to him. I said, you're going to be a star, mate. I said to Joe, Joe, just keep doing your thing. And you know what I mean? He was praising Stretford Post, talking about football. So check it out. Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Check it out. Joe Hendry talking about Man United on my channel, guys. Yes, bro. What do you reckon the window would be like in Europa in the bag? A lot better without the Europa League in the bag. I mean, it'd be a lot better than if we didn't win the Europa League, Kelko. What I would say is that it is very, very difficult to tell. One thing I would say about it, Coco, is that Ineos are keeping their cards very close to their chest, right? And you know what I would say about it is that, you know, I can see Man United signing one big player if we win the Europa League, one big player. And then the rest will be like, you know, up and coming kind of players. if we don't win Europa League, I can't see Man United getting this Osimhen or getting a Gutierrez or getting anyone of that nature. I can't see it. You know, very proud of Ruben Amorim, what he's done this week. This is something that needs to be touched upon, not literally, but one thing I would say is that I'm very proud of what he's done this week. I'm proud of the way he's paid for those members of staff for the final, Europa League final. I think that's an absolutely good touch. That shows you what a great man he is, what a good personality he is. And me, who's seen a lot of great people in my life, I've worked with legends, guys. I know great people when I see them. And Ruben Amorim's a great person, a great man. And we're not going to get much better than Ruben Amorim at the end of the day. You don't think Ruben Amorim would doing what we will be doing, what Luis Enrique is doing? You don't think he'll be doing what Hansi Flick is doing? Of course he would be doing that. Yeah, absolutely. But we're absolutely toxic mess from top to bottom. The context is key. People just look at things, as I said, from football. I have ball, I kick ball in goal. That's it. That's what they look at. I don't like manager. We sack manager. We get new manager in. Manager going to be good. You know, I don't look at that sort of thing. I look at things from all angles. You know what I mean? And if I was wrong, if I'm proven wrong, I'll say, well, I was wrong. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But I haven't been so far. And I said that about Erik ten Hag. If we sack Erik ten Hag, some people were saying if we sack Erik ten Hag, we'll win the league with this team. My God. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And look what's happened. You know what I mean? It's madness. We need up to 6 minimum, Mandy. Minimum. Absolutely minimum. Minimum, I would say. Absolutely. Big up, man. Great live. Big up, Coco. Big up yourself. Thank you so much for joining me, my friend. Absolutely. Manchester United champions of 2025-26 season, mate. You know what? You've definitely got something great. You've definitely got something great. I don't see a drink out on turkey for me. I like that, Kenny. I wouldn't say no. Preach. Big up, man. Good to see you here, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Kenny, I mean, I love your optimism, but I don't know what he's taking, Kenny. Some of the magic beans have been going around. You know, have you ever seen that film Limitless? I think he's taken some of those tablets. Watch the film Limitless with Bradley Cooper. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thanks very much, fans and supporters, my friends. Big up, Amir. Big up yourself. Big up. But you know what, Amir? I don't know what you're doing, bruv. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're taking. Big up, Joe. I don't know what you're taking, bruv. We could do it. We trust. Amorim had a very bad season, but he can come good next season. Yeah, he will be. Next season, guys, let me say this. If next season comes, right? So let's look at it hypothetically, right? If next season comes and he's been backed, right? And by Christmas, we're still bloody 13th, 14th, 15th, even 9th, 10th, 11th, right? We're still around that area. Then I will start saying, you know what? Maybe he's not that guy. But it's insanity to bring a manager in with a distinctive style of play and not back him with off-field issues up to the ceiling, right? Losing 3 players, okay? Injuries again. We've been getting injuries non-stop. We had 60 last season. We've got more this season. To still get to Europa League final, right? But to call for the manager's head, no one's saying that Ruben Amorim is perfect. Ruben Amorim's made mistakes. He would tell you that. He takes accountability himself. He's already done that, you know? But he's doing that because he knows that he can't do nothing at the moment with this bunch of scoundrels, to be honest. So what he's doing is, you know, what we're saying is this. Next season, hypothetically, if he's backed and we're still not get signs of improvement, then I will come on here and I'll say it's not looking good, bruv. It's not. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. And I don't hide from things. You know what I mean? I'm not Owen from the United View. I don't hide things. I don't apologize. My opinion means the world, and I'm the all-knowing flipping man in the world. If I had the answers, I would do it at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? No offense, I'm just taking a swipe at Owen, but you know, I know what he does. Do you know what I mean? He never changes his opinion. He's always right. You know what I mean? His cheeks go red when you say no to him. When you disagree with him, his cheeks goes red. Order, order, order. No, you can't say that. That's him. That's Owen, by the way. But anyway, big up. So yeah, that sort of thing. You know what? We have to wait and we have to be patient. 5 flipping months. As I said, in 5 months, you wouldn't be able to build a bloody Tesco Metro. I'm telling you right now, in 5 months, what can you build in 5 months, guys? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Coco, So true. All the premature Eric Ten Hag outers were so mature, and here they are back again. I'm seeing some Eric Ten Hag outers apologize. They should apologize to me. Each one of them, if I can fit about 1,000 boxes on my screen, each one of those people should come on this stream and apologize to Sal. Absolutely. Big up, Koke. Kunya, welcome to King United. Almost. Let's see. Any chance of outside the club? I'm going to get into that later on Chatterbox, guys. I've got some breaking news in regards to that. I'm in the Middle East, by the way, so I do speak to people over here. So yeah, I'm gonna get the lowdown on that. So join me for Chatterbox later. What time is it in the UK? I'm not in the UK anymore. Dropski. I'm in the UAE, and it is 10:42 in the morning in the UAE, my friend. Absolutely, 10:42 in the morning. Ruben Abraham has paid 30 members of staff and their families to attend the final. It comes after coach. Yeah, I said that earlier on, Charlie, already. This season is I'm behind this guy 100%. Big up, Charlie. Big up yourself. I agree. Sal, I'm 72. I don't believe you, Randy. You keep telling me you're 72. Why do I get the impression you're not? I don't know, mate. Why do I get the impression you're not 72? Why do I get the impression you're another age? Much younger. Joe, I couldn't afford a Man United top in the 90s. Yeah. Listen, Joe, I was raised in the most poorest council estate in East London called Cattle Estate, 8 times worse than Harlem, mate. I used to do charity things in East London, right? I used to go to Chingford, Walthamstow, in Leytonstone, Leyton, everywhere, Stratty. I used to go to all these places, right? I used to do charity work, right? I used to go to a Chingford sports shop. It's still there. It's at the back of where the old cinema used to be, where Walthamstow Market is. If you go where the old cinema used to be, you go at the back. There's a sports shop there, right? And David Beckham used to go there, right? They used to give out free Man United. They used to give me a free jersey. They used to give me a free jersey because I used to play Sunday League football. So Sunday League football used to give me a free jersey, and I had a free jersey. And I've got pictures of myself. Every single man can prove that they're a Man United fan from the 90s. Everyone can, even if they're poor or rich. Something, a cup, a mug, a cap, you know what I mean? Something. I'm not saying you're not, but you know what? Jim Ratcliffe has told us that he's mate born and bred, right? Jim Ratcliffe, you can tell, has been a very privileged man over the many, many years, right? He can't prove to me that he's a Man United fan because he has got no pictures or evidence that he is a Man United fan. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But one thing I'll say, I'm not saying you're not a Man United because I think Joe is a Man United fan. I don't think people will invest that much time in Man United if they don't support Man United. But what I would say is that, you know what? Proof is in the pudding, my guy. Proof is in the pudding. I'm very handsome and smart. Same like me as well, apparently. No, I'm not. I've got to see my own praises sometimes. Absolutely. I bought a Dragon. Man United tops were not available. Shut up, Joe. Shut up. I've got your soundbite. Shut up. Yes, they were. I got loads of friends from Jamaica. They were available, even if they're bootleg ones. They had them. Goodness me. I was based in East London, you know what I mean? The poorest estate you can ever imagine, man. Death on my doorstep every single week, and I still managed to show myself in a Man United top, even if I borrowed one. Come on. But that's the thing, isn't it? You know. But we're having banter in this show. Joe, don't take it literally. Love, brother. We're having banter here. But what's important is, and this is Stretford Post, guys, I banter. That's what I do. This is what I do. I don't sugarcoat things. I'm not Willy Wonka. I don't like coming on the show and being like ABC, you know what I mean? This is this and this is that. Start talking about finances. Do you know what I mean? Start having the Muppeteers and people like that on the show talking crap out their ass when they're born in bloody America, watching American football and stuff like that, thinking that they know everything about Man United when they're so far up the Glazers' arse. It's unreal. Do you know what I mean? It's like, was it Samuel Jackson? So I talk to my hands like a puppet. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. You know what I mean? Muppet is a puppet, isn't it, at the end of the day? But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I don't deal with that. And, I know great Man United fans around the world. I met one here who's been a Man United fan for 70 years, right? And he used to go to every game. And he created the Sale Man United branch, which is the biggest branch outside of Manchester. And I spoke to a lot of these people. Big Man United fans in the stadium and everywhere I go. People with, a a brain are supporting Ruben Amorim. Do you know what I mean? And because they understand the problems that the football club run deep. And as I said, if it gets to next season, and we're still on the same page, then we can start throwing the knives out. Big up. I think Amorim needs 2 or 3 years. I think so as well, Dropsky, and I think you're absolutely right. But he won't get that time, unfortunately. As Ruben Amorim said himself, he won't get as long as Arteta. He said that in a press conference. He's not going to get as long as Arteta, sadly. Do you know what I mean? But I think he'll do very well. It's sad, you know. Which striker can we have if we don't get Gutierrez, Osimhen, or Delap? There are a few strikers that I would like at Manchester United. There are a few in Italy that I like. There are a few in France that I like. There's not many choices like there used to be in the 90s. Joe would know about the 90s strikers. Absolutely. I would love to bring Joe on this stream and tell me how many strikers he remembers. I would say, for me, a striker this season, you know, I wouldn't go past, right? And I'll tell you why, guys. I wouldn't go past saying the likes of Ollie Watkins and people like that. Strikers that actually put the ball in the back of the net, you know. And I won't be surpassed to saying that a Premier League's proven striker. You know what I mean? This season, which shouldn't count, I agree. Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainoo, Garnacho is not for sale, Mayor. No, Manchester United are making Adam Wharton a top priority of midfield, but Crystal Palace, Man United are going to be quoted at around, it's caught offside though, I know that is part of The Athletic, but and obviously Fabrizio Romano, who hopefully will be on the show in the summer, he has done work with caught offside, but what I would say is that we're going to be priced out of a move for Wharton, because Wharton is worth going to be 60 million, you know what I mean, and I don't think we can afford that. Colts, have you been here before? Joe, I had a fake United top when I was younger. There you go. Colts is the school. Joe, he's had a fake one. I know homeless people with Man United tops. I walked through the streets of Havana in Cuba, right? I see Man United tops. Havana. They have a flipping embargo. They got Man United tops. Havana, Cuba. I've been there. I walked the streets. I've done a music video over there. There are people with Man United tops. Excuses, lads. Big up, Joe Gamer TV. Good to see you again. Excuses, lads. We really need that. Joe's giving us the sob story. Joe's like, you know what I mean? Oh, you know what I mean? I used to have a bath with a kettle. Come on, Joe. Johnson. All says Amorim needs time. We should all back him. Big up, Johnson. And what I would say this week, Johnson, is that, guys, whatever you feel, and banter aside, whatever you feel, right? The most important thing for us to do this week, even if we lose to Chelsea, and I know a lot of people are going to pipe up if we lose to Chelsea, it's going to be Man United reserves. But what I would say is this, right? Back the team until Wednesday. Back the team until Wednesday. Being negative and being overly pessimistic is not going to help anyone. Energy is a thing, you know. And if we carry on being negative, we're going to lose the game before we've even walked out in Bilbao. You know, let's win that final, and then we analyze where we go from there after the final. Let's get in the Champions League. That's what I would say, and I think that is the most important thing for Man United at the moment and the fans. Damn! Wow, you must have seen George Best and Legend. I mean, he must have done. Big up, Randy. I think we need more technical players, especially in the midfield. I agree, Amir. Shots fired? No shots, Joe. I'm just, you know, there's no shots fired. It's just, I like to create subjective arguments and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I believe in what I believe in. Joe, you believe in what I believe in. And banter aside, I you know what? At the end of the day, what I said is that if Ruben Amorim doesn't prove himself next season, and I know he needs longer, but he's not going to get longer. So if he doesn't prove himself next season, then I'm going to be like, well, you know what? I was wrong, and you know what? It's not good enough. You know, at the end of the day. But what I won't tolerate is, you know, and this is not you, Joe. This is other people in big platforms. You know, they have their opinion. They already turned against the manager after 5 months. For goodness sake, no loyalty in them whatsoever. You know what I mean? I think their baby mama, you know what I mean, dropped one out on them at a very young age because, you know, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, bloody hell, they turn they turn on the manager quickly. I mean, I think it's vibes. Some people watch football for vibes. Some people watch it for the love of the football club. I watch it for the love of the football club. Some people love it for sensationalist headlines, clicks, likes, and stuff like that. At the end of the day, you know, a lot of people were given big platforms from a certain guy called Mark, and you know what, they use it for the wrong reasons. And I'll say that to the end of time. I'm sounding like Tupac now, to the end of time. So at the end of the day, you know, I believe in what I believe in, and I just want to separate the bullshit from the actual level-headed patience that we need, of course. And what the overriding fact is that we need to be positive until Wednesday. Then people can cry. I believe in Imagery will be good next season. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. I'm sorry I said 10 Axel. I should have never said that. I mean, guys, you're going to be sorry you said Imagery as well, because I know Joe Blackman. I know that you are going to say Ruben Imagery after the Europa League final. Trust me. I know you're going to say Ruben Imagery. And when you do say Ruben Imagery, I'm going to remind you that every manager is coming. Great managers are coming here. Erik ten Hag was wanted by a lot of clubs before he came to Man United. Even Real Madrid were looking at Erik ten Hag. You know, and then, you know, and here we are. You know, people apologizing. You know, can you, Joe Blackman, can you tell Owen to apologize? He won't. Give Amram a limited transfer budget. Kenny George Best was best part. Jamaica is different, bro. No, it's not. Cuba have an embargo. Jamaica love up America. Cuba have an embargo. Jamaica love up America. Cuba can't get anything from overseas. Basically, embargo means when I went to Cuba, right, there was a Jamaican fella selling Snickers and Twix privately around the corner, a bit like selling drugs, right? He had to sell Snickers, Twix, Kit Kat around the corner, you know, in the dark, you know, so no one sees him, like drugs. That's how bad it was in Cuba. Yeah, I still see Man United tops. The devil's a liar. Patrick Dorgu is cracked. Need him at Barcelona. Big up Jobski. When Amram bring his own players next season and 4 fouls, we can call for his sack. Absolutely, absolutely, Johnson. If he's given his own players, of course, that is the fact. Exactly, Johnson. Big up Johnson. I think Best was the reason a lot of people. Best was an absolute legend. Joe Blackman, George Best was a Man United player in the 60s and the 50s. Part of the Sir Matt Busby's team that won the 1968 World Cup, 1968 European Championship, European Cup, shall I say? And just to let you know, George Best, just for the people here. It depends on what part of Jamaica, to be fair. There's no excuse. You at least have a bloody scarf. At least have a tea towel. Fucking hell. You can have anything, Courts. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. You know what I mean? I've got evidence. You know? You know what I mean? Let's scroll down to 2005. Let's go down to 2005 and find... Even 2005, let's go down to 2000. Let's forget about the 90s. Let's go to 2005 and find tweets and Facebook posts about Man United. We want words. He's not coming to Man United, my friend. Definitely not. Absolutely. Randy, for me, it was Rovu Van Nistelrooy. Big up, Kenny. You come from a different generation, Kenny. Can't knock you for that. Morning, Sal. But you know what? Joe Blackman did nothing. Joe Blackman's a legend. You know what I mean? But we're just having, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Maybe he can bring, you know, I'll come on his show one day and I'll you know what I mean? He can school me, whatever he wants. I don't care. So I got thick skin, bro. You're making me laugh. I know, Joe. So have I. But you know what? It's all laugh, man. It's all love. You know what? One thing I would say let me tell you something about life, guys, in general, right? And I'm not here like Jerry Springer talking about, you know what I mean, the final speech before I leave. You know what I mean? This is the truth. This is the gospel, right? None of us are 100% right all the time. We are wrong sometimes. And you know what? It's part of being a human being. One day we're going to slap in our face. Life gives you a habit of slapping you in the face. There's been times when I thought I was right. Nothing can touch me. I was right all the time. And then life gives you a slap on the face. And that is what life's about. But that is part of growing up. You know what I mean? Joe, Man United shirts are always expensive. I had many T-shirts. I only had one T-shirt. My name as me too. Individual letters, numbers. I had only the Man United 1992 shirt, which was my first shirt that I was given. No, this is my first shirt. This is actually the original, guys. You don't believe me? I'll show you the date on it. This is actually the original I was given. It was too big for me when I was younger. It was given to me, and that was back in early 90s, 1990, around 1991, around that time. That was my first shirt, and it was given to me. I was raised in Cattle Estate, guys. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a pot to piss in. Do you know what I mean? But I still managed to get the Man United jersey. Because I used to travel. I wasn't a traveller. My favourite player before best was Peter White of Wolves, fame before. Mine was Duncan Edwards, Randy. Duncan Edwards is one of my favourite players of all time. If Duncan Edwards didn't sadly pass away in the Munich air disaster, I think Man United would have won far more leagues and far more Champions League. It's something that gets brushed under the carpet, you know, in regards to Duncan Edwards, in regards to the Munich disaster, that, you know, Man United would have had much more league titles and European Cups. And it gets rushed under the carpet. And every single time, that annoys me. Do you know what I mean? That annoys me. And when people forget about our history, and Liverpool fans in particular, they don't understand, you know, about the legacy of Manchester United. Randy, you will. You know what I mean? They don't understand. Big up. Randy, for me, it was Mark Hughes and Brian Robson. Mark Hughes signed for Man United twice. Guys who don't know, Mark Hughes went to Barcelona and Bayern Munich, came back to Man United and absolutely killed it with his volleys. Absolutely. Guys, you think about history, and I remember watching in 1994, I remember watching Man United against Oldham Athletic in a semi-final of the FA Cup. Man United were 1-0 down to Oldham Athletic. 89 minutes had gone. No, 119 minutes are gone. Oldham Athletic scored in extra time. So it was 1-0 to Oldham Athletic, and there was a ball flicked on to Hughes, and Hughes volleyed it into the corner in 1994. Man United just won the league, obviously the season before, but that goal there contributed to Man United winning the double. We ended up beating Chelsea in the final 4-0, right? And that goal there contributed to Man United winning the double. That was what it was. And those moments in time, those moments I will remember fondly for the rest of my life, because you know what? Those moments are what changed history. That goal right there typified what Man United became, you know, which was, and that I'm bringing that goal because that goal is very significant, because it's that time. It was at that time when Man United started to get these late winners and stuff like that, and we started to win late and stuff in games, and that it was at that time, you know. So Mark Hughes, I have a soft spot. Brian Robson's one of the best midfielders of all time. Sadly, in the late 80s, early 90s, I saw Brian Robson in the latter stages of his career, coming on as a substitute and stuff like that. Brilliant player, Brian Robson, absolutely brilliant. Obviously had injuries as well, and luckily we got Roy Keane, but Brian Robson is often forgotten at Man United, and I think Brian Robson was a Captain Marvel, Captain Fantastic, whatever you want to call him. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant player, and we won't get anyone better. Go over Man United, yeah, but he still said, Joe, that he had the cheap one, didn't he, Joe? There you go. Go Man United forever. Vamos, 1, 2, 3. That United is bigger and the greatest in history. Big up, Amir. Love it. Man like Sal. Big up, Jengas. How you doing? I hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're good. It's a great achievement to have won nothing in 5 years, still managed at a big club. Mad, isn't it? Mad. Titro just Star Striker would be the best. I would love that. United tap-ins. Joe Blackman's quickly rushed down to Google. Mark, Teddy Sheringham and Eric Cantona stand out for me. I'm not sure when we signed Dwight York and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Come on, mate. You're not sure when we signed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Dwight York? Come on, guys. Come on. Joe, I've got nothing here. Dwight York signed before the 98-99 season. His first game was against Everton. He played against Everton for Aston Villa. Then he ended up signing for Man United after that. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came before the 1995-1996 season, scoring 2 goals against Blackburn Rovers in a 2-2 draw. 96-97. My apologies. So there you go. No Google. No, I'm sounding like a prick. Sorry, Joe. I'm only joking, mate. Yo, GK, what's going on? My favorite player of all time is the King, Eric Cantona. Literally, Barcelona wanted Ten Hag over Xavi. Absolutely, Dropsky. Absolutely. I wonder if Gary Neville would say the podcast today about Amram having to pay 30 million. He won't mention it. He won't bring on any positive light onto him. Gary Neville is a plum. My manager or boss, big up, or that positivity. It's killing me, Amir. You're killing me with positivity at the moment. My God. You're killing me with it. I'm giving Amram and transfer window to get the players, then I'm high alert. He must, fair enough, Joe, fair enough. In all honesty, fair enough, bruv. Same like me, okay, who, big up, Amir, big up. Hey, we're sending J-Mayor back to you. J-Mar. You mean Jadon Sancho? Are you a Chelsea fan? Any news on Euro? Big up, Joe. Whoa, Sal, word got to me that Joe never saw Fred on McTominay play. Fake fan. Mate, they're chances, guys. They're all chances. Joe's a chancer. They're all chances. They're all chances. They all create platforms to make money at Man United. I'm only joking, Joe. I'm joking. Don't take it literally. I'm only joking. But that's what we get called, don't we? Beckham, I mean, goodness me. People make money at Man United. It's mad, isn't it? I mean, how can... Beckham used to play with me in Hackney Marshes. He also used to work Walthamstow shop years ago. So I know Beef Bully. I'm from the same hospital. It's in Whips Cross Hospital. I'm from Leytonstone. Beckham was born in Leytonstone. He's from Leytonstone. He lived in Chingford. Went to the same school as him in Chase Lane. Went to the same school as him. Played with him at Hackney Marshes as well, along with Ugo Ekiog and players like that. Hackney Marshes, by the way, Joe, is a place in Hackney that famous players used to play. There was actually an advert that Eric Cantona went down there. Messi's actually played at Hackney Marshes. You know what I mean? So basically, I'm a Leytonstone lad like Beckham. Yeah, met him a few times. Lovely lad. Skinnier than I thought, but yeah. Families and partnerships members will be proud. Thank you so much. Big up, Amir. Gamer TV. Actually, I keeping an eye on Cunha Hudson-Odoi. Fuck it hell. And then, I mean, how can we judge Ruben Amorim? Oh my God. Oh, Hudson-Odoi, guys. I disagree, though, SLD. I think McTominay was Joe Blackman's favourite player. I heard. Amorim needs to go get back this summer. Ineos on Frood, which will be watching them from elsewhere in the summer. Absolutely. Amorim Kings of comebacks. Big up, Shah. Sal, I've got a Shark jersey with a collar, believe it or not. This shirt I've had all my life. I've kept it. I've got more in London. I'm going to get maybe, guys, if Man United win the Europa League, right? Hopefully I'll be going to London in July. Hopefully, I will get all my jerseys. I've got loads, guys. I haven't bought a jersey for many years though, since the Glazers. Obviously, the last jersey I had was the pink one, which was given to me as a birthday present from my wife. But what I would say is that I've got a number of jerseys from the past, from the 90s and stuff like that. If we win the Europa League, when I go to London in July, I will bring those jerseys and I would do a competition to win them. I've got a couple of signed ones as well. You know, I'll do that, and I would do a competition so that you guys can win those jerseys at the end of the day. And what I would say is this: the first time I saw Man United was Wimbledon, in the old Wimbledon ground in Wimbledon, and Alex Ferguson went like this on my head. One of Alex Ferguson's very first games. What the hell? I thought that background wasn't real. What? Mate, you need a very, very good AI to do that, guys. A very, very good AI. Signed picture, real picture of Man United treble winning the season. Absolutely, which I attended. And you know how I attended the Champions League final in 98, 99? I went to Barcelona by coach. Where is it now? I can't even find the screw now. I've lost my screw. I've lost my screw. You guys, man. This is camouflage. There we go. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Lovely jubbly. Johnson, managers are not the problem in a club. We just need the right players, absolutely. The right mentality. The fan base is part of the problem. We are too quick to throw manager, absolutely. And are spot on, Johnson, you're the man, mate. You're the man. So it's so easy to prove someone was a United fan in the 90s. I remember growing up. It's easy, mate. You can prove it even now. I'm not even saying the 90s anymore. I'm saying you guys come at me before YouTube came around about 2005 and prove to me that you're a Man United fan. Prove to me 2005. You know what I mean? A lot of people talk. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie. I was thinking about Nintendo more than United Tops. I had a Nintendo in Jamaica. I had a Nintendo as well. I had a Sega Master System. What was my first? My first computer console was the Spectrum 128K. Spectrum 128K was my first. Guys, you won't know it. Amstrad as well. I had an Amstrad. Asteroids. You remember Asteroids? I used to play that when I was a kid. I was raised I moved around a lot when I was younger. I was raised in a place in Chingford. That's why I went to school with Beckham in Chase Lane in Chingford. I used to live upstairs as a child. I used to live upstairs. Downstairs was a racist man, a very racist man. And I'm a mixed race guy. My dad is Asian. My mum is white. And you know, it was very toxic. And he used to boil his socks on the cooker to clean them because he was cheap. And I remember them days. Do you know what I mean? And didn't have much. But I lived in a women beating home. So basically, when people get beaten up, when women get beaten up, they go to homes to live so that they can find accommodation and stuff. My mum lived in a woman's beating home. Not that my dad used to beat my mum, but you know what, it was the only place to stay because we didn't have anywhere else. And I was a young man talking to women who'd been beaten up and stuff like that. And you know what? And even then, like in these difficult times, I used to think about Man United. I used to love Man United. And you know what? I remember being in Asia, right, and having one of those radio stations. And I remember it being the 95-96 season. And I remember us playing Newcastle United. That famous game where Schmeichel played a blind and Cantona buried one in the corner. And we came back and won the trophy, of course. And I was like this, on the radio, trying to find the right frequency for it. You know what I mean? Madness. And then I lived in LA for 2 years and stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? Been around the block. Being around the world and yeah. So yours doesn't have a collar. No, that's not. You're thinking of the other one, mate. You're thinking of the newer one, Brandy. Mine doesn't have a collar. You're thinking of the older one. I think you're thinking of the older one, the one from 1985. Is it the 85 one? This is not. This is 1989, 91. Joe Blackman, Nintendo, absolutely Nintendo. Joe Blackman was playing Nintendo. You know, Joe Blackman used to beat Arsenal on Nintendo. He used to play a football game with Arsenal. He's an Arsenal fan. No changes on Manchester United on your deal. Absolutely. There will be news coming out soon. I'm pretty sure about that. Sparky was a deadly striker. Absolutely. Smash the lights, Pete. Big up yourself, everyone. Big up, everyone. Hughes versus Barcelona. What, I finished the second. That was a brilliant finish. Absolutely. Went round the goalkeeper. Tight angle. Buried it in the corner. That's Rich. Brilliant goal. Ronald Koeman played in that game, I remember. You know what that is, right? And I've been talking about it as well. Mark Hughes played a very, very important role in Man United's history. I will say it to this day. And not many people recognize Mark Hughes as a Man United, media and stuff as a great. which he is, because he done things for Man United that moments. That's what I always say, moments in time. That's why I always will say that coming second as opposed to winning the trophy. I would always choose the trophy every single time, because you always remember the trophy. You always remember the trophy. That's what it's about. You know what I mean? Football for me is about winning trophies. It always has been. Big up, Rich. My first game at Old Trafford, Robson put one in the top corner against QP on the FA Cup replay. I remember that, Jengas. Good. We got some old school fans here. Big up, Jengas. Big up, Sal, but here. Big up, Stephanie. Big up, everyone. 52 likes. Big up, Joe. I am Google, Joe. When it comes to Man United, I'm Google. Music and Man United, Google. Film as well. But Man United, definitely Google. You can ask me anything. I won't need to look on thing. You know what I mean? I would like to go on that panel on United View and ask Flex and Owen some questions without Google. I like to get them around the table and ask them. Dun, 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 dun. And you know what? At the end, we should do a mastermind quiz on Man United every single month. You know what I mean? Dun, 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 dun. What's your specialist subject? Manchester United. And then we go to Joe. What's your specialist subject? Scott McTominay. Dwight Jorgensen were players we signed after Arsenal did in the 98 double. Yep. Don't need to tell me that, Joe. Rich. I was there. Morning, Stephanie. Big up, big up. Will Bruno still leave Man United? The thing is, Triple M, not the silence is deafening. You know what they say about silence, don't you? Radio silence. You know what they say about silence, don't you? You know what I mean? The silence is deafening at the moment in regards to that. Definitely. Big up, Joe Blackman. Big up, Stephanie. Big up. Big up Joe Blackman. No, Joe Blackman's a legend, mate. Joe Blackman. I mean, Joe Blackman's good, mate. I've got nothing but love. My channel isn't even a Man United channel. I know it's an Arsenal channel, isn't it? Any updates on your own delict? Nothing at the moment. Probably get an update on Thursday, tomorrow. It's going to be a press conference, I think. For me, it was always David Beckham, number 7, Leytonstone lad, like me, obviously. Absolutely. Good morning, Rich. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hudson Odoi. My goodness me, it's madness. Truth or truth is truth? You know, in these days, guys, we live in a society where you can say anything you want. I identify as a Manchester United fan today. That is what it is these days. So I think Joe Blackman is identifying as a Man United fan. That's what I say. And I have no discrimination to that, because it is 2025. So he identifies as a Man United fan. He feels like identifying as a Man United fan today. Many other people will identify as anything else, but, it is 2025, and we can identify as anything. Do you know what I mean? A bit like Man City, identifying. Absolutely. It's only jokes, guys. Stephanie, if you're new, we're having a little bit of a laugh. Sal rubbing the wall like P. Diddy party. I was watching a thing from True Geordie. I don't usually listen to True Geordie. I worked in the music industry for 20 years. I worked with the Outlaws, Tupac's Outlaws. I've met Tupac when I was 16 years old. I've got, endless experiences in the music industry. Back in the mid 90s, I knew everything about P. Diddy. I knew who he was, what he does, what the kind of person he was. I didn't know about the parties, but I knew who he was and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And you can see on YouTube all my stuff with the Outlaws and stuff. And I knew that they were a bad man, and not only him, Jay-Z and all these clowns, they were all the same. They don't care. They sold their soul for the game, and that's about it. But before I get thrown into a ditch somewhere, I better be quiet. Absolutely. Big up. That's the one. Yeah, Commodore 64. I remember 64. You got a Commodore 16. I got Commodore 64. My first console was an Atari. Mine too, actually. Atari. That is where I played Asteroids. You're right, Mark. That's where I played Asteroids. Refuge. Funny people say Arsenal. Oh, it was between Man United. Oh God, no! Thank God you weren't an Arsenal fan, Joe. You would have turned out very different. Invisible. Absolutely. My God. We're a club in crisis because we fight over everything and we agree on nothing. We're all Man United brothers and sisters in this stream and everywhere else. We're all Man United brothers and sisters. We have a laugh, but you know what? Ultimately, I want nothing more than for us Man United fans to be successful. I want us all to be successful, and I want us to come on this stream celebrating, popping champagne, whatever we pop. You know what I mean? That sounded wrong. But yeah, I want to be like that again, you know, because I miss those days. I really do. I really wish I had a platform when, you know, when we were winning things. It would have been nice. It would have been peak, man. It would have been great. And rotting Old Trafford, absolutely. Me too, Joe Blackman, absolutely. You're a legend, bruv. Thank you for not switching on me or blocking me or unfollowing me or unsubscribing to me, because I'm only joking. But one thing I would say is that, seriously, I agree with part of what Joe Blackman's saying, because in next season, you know, we got to understand some things that we passed the days of giving managers 3 years. It's not going to happen anymore. And next season, if Ruben Amorim is backed, we need to see significant improvements in the league. We do. We need to go. I mean, I'm talking about. I mean, people talk about top six. I think, you know, I think we can get higher than that. I really do. If he's backed, you know, and Man United shouldn't be aspiring to be sixth. They should be aspiring to be at the top. As I said, if you aim for space, you will end up on the moon. If you aim for the moon, you end up on the star. If you aim for the stars, you end up in the clouds. If you aim for the clouds, you end up in the mud. And to be honest with you, I think Man United should aim higher. And Man United, that's what Man United should do, because we're the Real Madrid, we're the Bayern Munich of England, and we should be aiming higher. Stephanie, this sound like a silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Da, 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 da. Truth is truth. That's the name of my show style. Oh, truth is subjective with football. Sal, name gonna come up on in the trial. Oh God, what trial? You mean KG trial or your trial? What trial? Mate, listen, guys. One thing I'm not Mark N. You know, I'm not Mark, you know what the N stands for, Mark N. Mark, not a Man United fan. You know, what I would say is that I'm not Mark N. So I don't need to be put on trial, because I will put you on trial, right, if you beat me at a quiz at Man United. Randy, I can't hide everything. Knows I'm a Man United supporter. Big up, Randy. I think the whole world knows. Big up yourself. Sal is lost in music, caught in a trance, no turning back. He's in the music, allegedly. Yeah. Well, I was, definitely. It's on YouTube. Not allegedly. I was. It's on YouTube. I didn't just do YouTube, guys. I've done things before YouTube was around, you know? So, you know, those smart artists who talk about how many followers and subscribers they got? I got millions of views before it was around, man. I've done things before before YouTube was around. Try doing that and come at me. Holler at your boy. Absolutely. Blackman, I thought Crystal Palace is your local side. Joe, you must have lived not far from me. Joe must have lived not far from me then. I lived in Sandylands for 2 years. And I worked at Tooting. I worked in Tooting. I worked in a hospital called St. George's Hospital. I worked in Tooting. So I was in Croydon. I was in Croydon a lot. I'm from Sandylands. Used to get Sandylands to Croydon, the tram. Yeah, I knew Joe. I knew Joe. You know what I mean? I reckon a few of the Glazers are in Epstein's Black Book. Yeah, I think they are. Jengas, basically. I think they are. We are still winning cups. Just bought the Prem. We've won the Europa, FA Cup. Absolutely. You probably know my friend Ben. Forgot his name now. My memory's going. Forgot my friend's name. Can't believe it. Ben Miller. He's a season ticket holder. Diddy trial. Diddy's a wrong one, mate. Diddy's a wrong one. Diddy is a wrong one. And I said it 30 bloody years ago. I don't know why anyone didn't listen to me. That man's going out making God songs, right? That man's going out making God songs while he's putting hits on people. That guy he's a wronger, mate. He's a wrong one. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he gets away with it because he sold his soul, and you know what? He's one of them. I grew up in Sydenham, not far. The orange line, isn't it? Sydenham. Yeah. My wife used to work in New Cross. I used to go and see her down there. Not work, but study there. Yeah, guys, it's been a great show. Thank you so much. Sal, that hospital near the station then? It's 2 Ing St. George's Hospital is near the station, yes. Literally 10-minute walk. Literally. If that. Yeah. I used to go to a chicken shop called Abby's in Tooting. Abby's. Guys, if you're going to try a chicken shop, try Abby's. Mwah. Mwah, 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 mwah. Amazing. I don't know if it's chicken or what, but, you know, it's made. The music industry, yeah. I went in the studio. I was in the studio, Mark, and a rapper I won't disclose was in my studio. I used to have a studio in my basement in Leighton. And he came in, right, and he was just signed. And he said to me, he's the next one through. He's going to be going through next, even if he hadn't made it. So I was like, you know what? I thought it's just hearsay. I thought, you know what? Yeah. And he goes, yeah. And then he goes, he sold his soul for fame. He said, I sold my soul for fame, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And basically, he's going to be the next one through. And he was. A couple of weeks later, he was in the charts. He used to read Rich Rules before he done his verse in the booth. He was from Plumstead. I was saying that Sal's name would come up in the Diddy trial. Oh, Joe Blackman. Yeah, trying to kill him, probably. Diddy knows me in regards to distantly knows who I am because I've always dissed him in music videos and stuff like that. My brother has. Yeah. That guy needs to be put to prison for life. He needs the chair. He absolutely needs the chair. That's what he needs. United officially back in the 70s and 80s, sadly, but the owners are the worst possible and overpaid unperforming players make it worse. Absolutely, Stephanie. Spot on, Steph. As usual, here's a Manchester United quiz. Who signed Remy Moses or Brian Robson? Who signed first? Remy Moses or Brian Robson? Wasn't it Brian Robson? Signed in 1981. Remy Moses was mid 90s. So I think Remy Moses was after Brian Robson. Am I right? Remy Moses was a legend, guys. I just want to tell you something about Remy Moses, Mark. Not many people mention Remy Moses. They don't really talk about him too much. Yeah, same time, British. I thought so. British Bulldog, love it. What I would say about Remy Moses is so underrated, guys. Remy Moses was so underrated. Guys, if you're a Man United fan and you're young, I would urge you to look at Remy Moses' history at Man United. I would urge you. So underrated. I won't eat outside food, Sal. Can't trust people's hygiene these days. Oh, there you go. This one's nice, though. I survived it, Jengus. I survived the Leighton Leisure Lagoon, Jengus. The Leighton Leisure Lagoon. The shoot in the Leisure Lagoon. If you survive the Leighton Leisure Lagoon, you survive anything. Big up. You guys have got the Google in front of you. I think I'm right. When did Remy Moses sign for Man United? Come on, guys. When did Remy Moses sign for Man United? Come on. All right. I mean, big up Remy Moses, by the way. Come on. Forget the Google. Remy Moses signed in 1981, like I said just now. I got it confused with Brian Robson. Remy Moses signed in 1981 for Man United. So around that time. Yeah, around that time. Yeah, there you got it right, Stephanie. I already said it earlier. Remy Moses was a half Nigerian. Yes. Yeah, legend. Even United can't cook chicken properly. Absolutely. Remy Moses. Yeah, 1981. I said it earlier. Stroll back. I got 1981 right. I did. I knew it was 1981. No Google, Steph. Absolutely. Now, let me ask you a question. Right? I'm going to ask you a question now. Let me get the questions in. He would have been, Mark. He did sign first, yeah, 1981. You're right. Let me ask you a question. She's bringing the Google knowledge, Jengus. That's all I know. I'm here on the stream. I was right. I said 1981, Jengus. Jengus, I said 1981. I was right. I said he signed in 1981. Absolutely, he signed in 1981. If you want to bring that in, you know what I mean. If you want to, but fair play to Stephanie. Obviously. Now, Remy was a brilliant player. Guys, you don't know Remy Moses, but Remy Moses was a brilliant player. You know, God rest his soul. He was a good player, man. You know, I was very young at that time. Guys, I'm not Stephanie's age. Sorry. I was born in 1981. So, you know what I mean? So, at the end of the day. Okay. I'll give you a question. When did Gary Pallister sign for Man United for how much? No Google. When did Gary Pallister sign for Manchester United and for how much? I went to Pretoria restaurant during apartheid. Poor customers. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Remy was a bit before my time as well. Obviously, I heard about him injuries. I mean, that's what I like. You know, some people, they have, they keep up to date with their past, you know. Google Stephanie and how much, Steph? And what month? How much? And who did he start his career with? No. He didn't sign for 1.5 million. He signed for 2.3 million, August 1989. Yeah, there you go. Jengus has got the Google up as well. I can't have Google because I got to. If I turn on Google, my screen will go off. It'll F up. So I can't look at Google. It's as simple as that. That's why I put all my quotes on my stream, because I can't look at Google and read them out. So at the end of the day, there you go. So there you go, guys. No, you can't defeat me. You can't defeat a Man United quiz. No one can. No streamer. Let me say, no streamer can beat me. No streamer. No streamer. No, he started at Billingham, Stephanie. Billingham Town. You wouldn't know that though, Steph. He started at Billingham Town. Big up Gary Pallister. Yeah, there you go. There you go, guys. I've gone way over the time. 11:28, guys. 11:28 is the time, guys. So I will be off now. But thank you everyone who's joined me. Don't forget to join me later on for Chatterbox, guys. And guys, thank you so much. Please don't forget to smash a like on the way out, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you so much. Big up everyone who's joined me in the stream. It's been an absolute laugh, a pleasure. Thank you so much. You did use Google. Don't lie to me, Jengus. So at the end of the day, I would say thank you, everyone, guys. You absolute legends. And guys, I mean, you know, when you can tell people use Google is how precise they are. 2.3 million. 2.3 million. The first Chinese player for Man United was Dong. Thank you, guys. I'm going way over the time. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great night. Have a great morning. Wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. I'll see you later for Chatterbox. Don't forget to join me that we carry this on. Take it easy, guys. Have a great day, night, morning, wherever you are. Peace.